Hello and welcome to my second video of the new series What Went Wrong With. Now I know this is already an older title, but I still think it's worth doing nonetheless. Well, our first point in this video is pretty much a no-brainer. It's basically the comparison I make between Dead Space number 1, 2 and 3. Where the first part of the franchise is focused on real horror elements and creating a really scary atmosphere, the third game steps even further away from that formula. Now why, we do not really know exactly, but it will most probably have something to do with the pressure EA puts on Visceral Games to make this game more mainstream and accessible to the casual gamers. It's not the first time that this has happened by EA. And from the footage running in the background, you can notice very clearly that there is more action involved in this game. The second point is very similar to the first point, but it might be worth mentioning anyway. What they've basically done in this game is change the scary atmosphere of the first game to more jump scares, or what they call in the movie business, flash horror. The first part of Dead Space 3 is still located in space, and it still sets a creepy mood from time to time,
oh my God,
to some extent. But in the second part, when you crash land on the planet, it's completely gone. All you see is either a very foggy ice plane or enemies coming from underneath you through the ice in a very predictable way. There's no atmosphere or no scary mood whatsoever. This is something that should not be in a horror franchise. Predictability. What is scary about a game when you can already anticipate what is yet to come? For example, here you'll know the drill will activate as soon as you push the button. Or over here the music will tell you exactly that something is gonna happen after you activated this panel. It's even so bad that almost every time you solve a puzzle, you can expect some enemies to start attacking you. Or when you're waiting for an elevator, for example, even the story will give you enough clues or hints to what is going to happen next. Well, here comes one of the most familiar complaints in games again. This is not as big of a problem like in games such as Resident Evil 6, here in Dead Space 3. But it still kills some of the pacing in the game. I hate it when an exciting moment or a scary part gets interrupted by another button smashing fest. Now, the lack of the survival aspect in the game is mainly thanks to the abundance of ammunition and the fact that they have generalized the ammunition types into one ammunition type for most weapons. However, the strange thing is that on big horde events inside the ruins at the ending of the game, you'll find little ammo or don't have time to stomp ammunition out of corpses. So basically, when you don't need the ammo as much, you'll find more than enough. But when you actually need a lot of ammunition, you'll run dry very soon. In some parts of the game, health might be scarce too, but not often enough to feel yourself endangered. I still remember the time from Dead Space 2 that the bosses could be a pain in the ass and you would die a lot, like for example from the regenerator. That was really something tricky to do. But now in DS3 it's very easy. The game holds your hand pretty much through all the boss fights, the entire game. The only enemies you'll die a lot from are the humanoids when they swarm you by surprise. In this clip in the background you can clearly see the example which I meant, that the game holds your hand from start to end through the boss fights. It tells you exactly through voice comm or hints how to trap this boss into position by using these harpoons. Now one thing this game does right is the ability to manufacture dozens of different weapons in the way you want it, even more so than in Dead Space 2. And the amount of weapon combinations are just ridiculously huge. For people who want to have a lot of weapon flexibility and customization, this game can be a real treat. Now let's just hope that future sequels won't become more mainstream than this.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Now the final verdict of this game's rights and wrongs. I'll see you guys next time.